I call meeting to order. Let the record show that all board members are present. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda as
With,
was
I'm
submitted
sorry,
to us.
with
the
adjustments.
With the
Yeah,
amendment.
we'll take out number 4.
Took out number 4. Okay. I move we approve the agenda with the revisions that were just stated.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Delegations. We have no agenda items. On non-agenda items, we have 4 people that have signed up to speak. The first on the list is Debbie Painter. And all speakers have 5 minutes.
Am I supposed to push something?
No, it's on. It's
Oh,
already-
okay, okay. My name is Debbie Painter, but before I get started, I'd like to officially ask that a copy of my statement be included and submitted along with the minutes of this meeting for future documentation. Okay. And I apologize if I get emotional. Okay, again, my name is Debbie Painter, and I'm speaking today as both a mom to a special needs student and as a Raleigh County substitute teacher in both the autism and moderate special ed classes. First, as an educator, there has been discussion that the board wants to combine the autism and the moderate classes at Liberty High School. These 2 classes have vastly different environments, and it is mind-blowing to me that anyone would think that this is a good idea, or that it would work, or that it's appropriate to do this. These students are on 2 incredibly different educational paths and have greatly different cognitive abilities. They learn differently, and they need educated differently. In the autism class, you have some students that are on track to receive a standard diploma, and they complete the same standard curriculum that regular ed students receive, and they are at or near grade level. Whereas in a moderate classroom, you have students that will be receiving a modified diploma. They are well below grade level, and some are nonverbal, some are medically fragile with brain injuries, and these students often have intellectual disabilities, processing delays, and developmental delays, and these require assistance with daily living skills, such as bathroom and feeding needs. These students also require more one-on-one help for them to work on their modified curriculum. The degree of how many variables that this class will face if the proposed combination happens is staggering. It will make it difficult to deliver targeted, individualized, quality instruction to any one group consistently, as well as meet their individual IEP needs. So education will become generalized, which undermines the purpose of specialized education. How will the teacher be able to meet the specific needs of each group and of each student? And what is the reason for combining these 2 classes? Is it school enrollment at Liberty? Is it class size at the special ed rooms? Our class numbers have changed just since last week. We each have an additional student. So please look at the visual here that we provided of the enrollment breakdown of the high schools. There are other high schools in our district that have smaller special ed class numbers than Liberty, but there is no discussion about combining their classes, just Liberty. So why? There are 2 students being bused into Liberty's autism class from other schools. Why are those students not combined with the moderate class at their own home school? Could that transportation funding be used to keep both of Liberty's special education educators at Liberty and keep the special ed classes separate? So why is Liberty the only school targeted? Marsh Fork Elementary has a combined autism and moderate class right now. Have you all checked in with them to see if it's working? What are the pros? What are the cons of those being combined? We have to continue to provide support to these students. And why does the district or the board or whoever want to make the instructional environment so broad that it dilutes individualized supports and it risks failing to provide free, appropriate public education? And under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, placement decisions must be made individually based on the student's IEP, not based on administrative convenience, staffing efficiency, or budget. Have any of you on this board spent an entire day in the autism or the moderate class? I think you need to see firsthand what goes on in each of these classrooms and tell me that this will work and that it makes sense. And now I want to speak to you as a parent of a special needs student. My student is in the moderate class. If this merger happens, there is going to be a group of students that are verbal and a group that are nonverbal. Will the educator have to pick and choose who gets an education? Will the nonverbal students be grouped together and then an aide provide the instruction? And if so, will the aide have the supports that they need through trainings and certifications to be effective co-teachers for our students? Please do not combine the autism and the moderate classes at Liberty. It would be a mistake and it will hurt our students. They deserve better. They are different, not less. Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer Daniel.
I too am going to speak on the same situation at Liberty High School. Good evening, members of the school board, educators, families, and community. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening about the proposed combining of our special education classrooms at Liberty High School. This decision carries significant implications not only for our students, but for our entire school community. I urge you to remember what makes our program extraordinary. It is built on a foundation of individualized care, attention, and support. The relationships formed with the trusted educators and aides are essential to the progress and well-being of our students. As you consider this proposed consolidation, it is crucial to remember the guiding principles of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act and the right to a free, appropriate public education. IDEA guarantees that every child with a disability is entitled to an education tailored to their unique needs, ensuring equal access and opportunities for growth. Free, appropriate public education demands that our schools ensure equal access and opportunities for growth. Demands our schools to provide not just access, but meaningful education experiences that prepare each student for further education, employment, and independent living. Upholding these standards is not only a legal requirement, but a fundamental responsibility that reflects our commitment to supporting every student's journey. While you may rationalize the reasons for this consolidation, let us not lose sight of the unique needs of these students and the individualized environments that help them flourish. Maintaining separate classrooms will ensure each group receives a curriculum tailored to their unique learning profiles. This separation allows educators to focus on individualized strategies and support, making it possible for every student to thrive according to their abilities and challenges. The proposed consolidation of our classrooms risks weakening the specialized approaches that have been proven to be effective, potentially hindering progress for both classrooms. While both settings provide supportive environments, the approaches in learning abilities addressed are tailored to the specific needs of the student population in each classroom. I stand before you as a mother of a special needs child. an advocate, and a witness to the remarkable achievements of our special education students. I understand that in many ways, our students walk a different path than their peers. They may not be the ones you see in the headlines for making it to the state championship, okay? Or may not be recognized at the state capitol for winning a debate team trophy. But I want to remind you tonight that the victories our students achieve are just as meaningful or even more inspiring. For some, a trophy is earned on the sports field or in an academic competition. For our students, a trophy might come in the form of trying a new food after months of gentle encouragement. It might be the joy on a child's face when they speak a new word for the very first time, a word that's taken weeks, months, or even years. Sometimes the greatest celebration is when a student learns to tie their shoes, a task that so many take for granted, but for them it represents patience, perseverance, and growth. These are not just small steps, they are monumental leaps for our students. Each one is a testament to their strength, resilience, and determination of our students, and to the unwavering support of our educators and staff who believe in our children's potential each and every day. Again, our students may not bring home the state trophy, but they bring home victories every single day. These victories are full of heart, courage, and hope. They deserve to be seen, heard, recognized, and applauded for who they are and for every milestone they achieve. Some of these milestones are achieved in that very classroom that you want to combine. Our students at Liberty attend for an education, not to be babysat. Combining the classrooms will take away some of those victories and their right for a free, appropriate public education. Thank you for your attention and your commitment to the duties as elected officials to support the education of every student in every community in our county. Thank you.
Thank you. Brian Brown.
Good evening. I don't think I need a microphone. Good evening, everyone. I am the chairperson for the LSIC at Stratton Elementary. Since the removal of the principal at Stratton, there's been a loss of morale, there's been a loss of energy and enthusiasm that reverberates through the school. There seems to be a vacuum of information and support that is causing the students as well as the faculty to feel uncertain. There needs to be some action taken to help ensure that the faculty and the students are receiving information and are supported in ways that are meaningful. A couple of weeks ago, I did call Dr. Starcher to have a conversation that I continue to find useless and fruitless. It is at this point a year ago that Dr. Christy Williams-Dumas and I came to Dr. Starcher's office to have a conversation about the problems that were existing within Stratton Elementary School. And what we were told was that her hands were tied and that there was nothing that could be done. And here we are now, a year later, and the state is to step in and take control of the school. And as I called and spoke to Dr. Starcher, the response then was waiting on the state to give direction and directive as to what should happen within that educational environment. I have been very public and very vocal, and even in the newspaper, to say that I feel as though Dr. Starcher is no longer the person that's appropriate to lead the school system in Raleigh County. We need someone who lives in our community, who doesn't drive across state lines to go home. We need someone who is invested in the lives of our children and finds all of our children worthwhile and meaningful. What I've experienced in my communication with Dr. Starcher has been fruitless, hopeless, and I left feeling in despair. We have currently an environment of retaliation that is set forth, and teachers are afraid to speak, principals are afraid to speak for fear of retaliation from the top. So I hope that as we think about these budget cuts that need to happen, coming up, as I read in the newspaper, that we start with a top-heavy administration and we start whittling from the top opposed to always cutting from the bottom, that we keep in mind the children that need to be helped, that we stop treating the schools as some schools as dumping grounds for children that aren't wanted elsewhere, that we actually take time to find places to put children in supportive environments with teachers and aides who are able to support those children, instead of at Stratton, where it's become a dumping ground for every child that is undesirable, those that don't have words, those that are deemed not to be important. They just, all roads lead to Stratton. And unfortunately, though, the end of the road is teachers who aren't trained, who aren't educated in that, and they are suffering. Until we stop treating those schools as dumping grounds, the principal, no matter who is in charge, as I said, is going to be a referee in romper room. We have to start making strategic structural changes in these environments so that kids are routed to schools that have the support for them, not just a nice building to put them in. We need to make sure that we are realigning the school districts, that they are supportive and not continuing a line of segregation that has existed since the 1960s. And I've spoken on that before. But what we have seen is we have now at Stratton, we have a school system, a school that has high transient population. We have a school there that is filled with students that have special needs. We don't have the teachers to be able to support them. And we have an out of control environment that no person is going to be able to solve and handle that problem effectively, especially not when we don't have leadership from the top that isn't afraid to get in the trenches with the principal and solve real problems and waits on directives from the state. So as you all are moving into a new election season, I hope that you will remember that we, the public and the citizens, have placed a trust in you that you will do what's in the best interest of our children. And that interest is to make sure that they have a valuable learning experience. And I hope, Dr. Starcher, you do resign.
Thank you. Communication reports. Board reports, Dr. Hutchins.
Well, like most of the other board members, I did attend the school board training that was in Morgantown, and I thought there were some really good sessions. I especially liked there was a session on ethics. There was one on fiscal responsibility, which I thought was good. Special education, which seems to be a big topic across the state. But the one that I think I enjoyed the most was the one that John Deskins gave over trends across the state of West Virginia. And I thought that was really good. Also, I took part in the SCSC meeting, which was a Teams meeting. They talked about a regional spelling bee and the consideration of that and what they're doing, talking to people to see if that can be something that's worthwhile. And also, I have worked at Stratton Elementary with a group of ladies, an organization I belong to. We're organizing the library there and getting all the books in order and labeling everything so that's real easy for the kids to come in and find the books that they want on their level. Thank you.
Ms. Smith?
Well, like Dr. Hutchins and most everyone else, I also attended the meeting in Morgantown, and I have to concur. A lot of the sessions were very beneficial and informative and interesting.
Ms. Hamrick?
We had the training and it was good. John Deskins gave you a lot to think about and a lot to worry about statewide as far as our population goes. But anyway, I went to Woodrow for the high school musical. If you haven't been, you should go. Those kids worked really hard. I think there was 100 kids, and ACT helped with all the backdrops and stuff. It's really good. Got some good stuff going. And I did go down to Stratton Elementary for the Christmas giveaway party Santa they had. It was so good. It was so good. They were so excited. And I didn't see sad stuff. I mean, I just didn't. And also then the store that they just recently got open, the kids are real excited about it, and it is really good. So I do think good things are going on at Stratton. I do. You're up.
Mr. Snuffer.
I also attended the training session in Morgantown. Kind of rose among the, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. A thorn among the roses. My three lady friends there, myself, were there, and I held down the table. They got too excited, but no, we had a good training session. A lot of things. If you haven't seen the report, maybe we get some of that stuff available for Mr. Dessens. I mean, West Virginia. I mean, we live with what we live with. I mean, lasting income, a lot of things that we've done. The growth has been flat, no growth economically in the last probably 50 years. It's basically been the same thing, and so we need to think outside the box a little bit. We're very one industry, which is energy, which I'm thankful for energy, but we're just one. We're one industry concentrated. So as it goes, the whole state goes. We have not been able to diversify our economy. So it's very interesting to do that. On the other note, I was able to attend Liberty Senior Night and the ball game there last week. The really good ball game. They won at the last minute there, beat Midland Trail. Went to the middle school basketball tournament. Chapel was eliminated pretty quickly, but it was a good night there to see them. And then, and as I spoke in our hearing, some of you other weren't here. I had a baby calf that basically froze and was close to death, and brought it in and got it going on last Wednesday, or the Wednesday before we went to training. And we had to go. I had to be in Morgantown. I taught a class at WVU on Thursday, and then we had training Friday and Saturday. And I knew if I put the calf back out with its mommy, it would just die. She couldn't take care of it. The calf wasn't working. So I called the Liberty FFA chapter, and those kids took it over, and they've raised it. I gave it to them. I said, hey, it's yours, and whatever you do with it. If you save it, okay. And they have, and they call it Blizzard. And the kids are brave. They had it at school and stuff, and they've really had a good time out of it. And I enjoyed seeing them grow and interact with that animal at their school. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. The only thing I've got is the state board meeting. I wasn't able to go personally, but I did watch it on technology, Zoom, and all the speakers I thought were good. Dr. Starcher.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. I too joined or participated in the conference virtually. I really liked Mr. Deskins or Dr. Deskins. I'm not sure what it is, but yes, and I've communicated with him since. I appreciated his presentation, but it was depressing. So anyway, but I did appreciate the School Board Association preparing the conference that it did. So I have a few things I want to share. First of all, as the board is aware, we received the needs project for Woodrow Wilson High School. And with our last few projects, we've had a number of change orders that we're hoping that we can reduce that number with this project. One way we are hoping to do that is by contracting with a construction manager. In the past, we've had a clerk of the works. That clerk of the works was provided through Skanska for the park project. But we would like to expand that just a small amount. And we'd like to put out a request for qualifications. We'd like to do that this Friday. And in addition to the construction management services like we have at Park, this company or provider would also up front, before the project goes out to bid, the company would analyze the architect's design and determine, are there any errors or omissions? If you recall, with the park project, the concession stand was left out. It's a good example. But this company would review the documents, looking for any errors or omissions, identify those on the front end so that when we go out to bid, hopefully everything is there. I'm not saying we wouldn't have any change order, but hopefully that would limit that risk. With that said, we'd like to put this out. Obviously, if we put it out and we don't get any firms, or perhaps everything is more than we would like to spend, we don't have to select a firm. But we would like to go ahead and put it out, see what the response is, and then certainly there would be an interview process if we would move forward. And I'd like to ask if one of the board members would like to participate on that selection committee.
Rick.
Okay, well, I was going to give a little bit of a time frame of what we've kind of planned. We'd like to put it out in the paper and on the web this Friday. So then we're looking at mid-March, March 16th through 18th sometime to do the interviews, and then we would like to bring it to you on March 24th. That's our calendar that we're proposing.
You know, we used these firms before. We were required by the SBA at one time to have a firm to use this. Charlotte said it. We used it at Marsh Fork, Charlotte, and we did, and they did save us some money. But then it kind of thing. It kind of gets me a little bit. I don't mind to use them, but we pay architect a lot of money, and then we have to hire somebody else to make sure they do their job right. But that's just comment for the crowd.
We
But
have
if the
discussed
architect does his job correctly, you don't need a management firm. But
We have to have the construction manager or clerk of the works
One of the two.
for the project itself.
right. So this
this
you
would
don't need a
just
clerk of the
be-
works. You just you
This would just be the front end. Before we go out to bid, that would be the only service that we would be adding that we don't have to provide.
would the construction management services, would they provide? Before, I thought they provided the clerk of the works force. They provided
They would.
Okay,
They
that's what I
would.
thought.
It's all, it would be
It's all part of that
encompassing.
that's
Yes,
what I
sir.
thought. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So that's something that we plan to have out on Friday. And then, like I said, we'd like to have a board member if one would be willing and want to
Well,
participate.
the whole thing with the SBA, and we did this before when Dr. Hudson was here, was they save us money. I mean, they were always saying we'll pay for ourselves. Whether they did or not, I don't know that, but that's a good selling point. Is that, you know, by doing this, we find things that will catch you when you go out, before you go out to bid, that, you know, we can save this, this needs to be done this, or we'll economically engineer it in such a way that will save you money and make, like you said, the change orders. Change orders kill you.
They do. And one other thing I didn't say up front, it's not always just money, it's time.
yeah.
With the change orders come a substantial number of days typically added to a contract. So, you know, hopefully we would save money, but if not, at least break even. But it's the days of extending the contract that at least, if we didn't have change orders or many, then the contract would proceed on schedule.
Well, I can tell you this, if you go and look at Marsh Fork, the construction of Marsh Fork Elementary, and Mr. Daniels here, their wiring, their plumbing is probably as precise and as good as any place I've ever seen when they built that school. They did a top job. And that was because we had this company watching and doing it. So, I mean,
We also had that person on site there most
that's what I'm saying.
And
He
this
was-
person
He was
would
there,
be-
that came through them. He was great, Charlotte. You know that. He was great.
Is that the one Racing was digging the stuff? No, that was okay.
So that's where we are with Woodrow and that project. So we'll put it out, see what kind of response we get, and then I heard Ms. Hamrick say, Mr. Snuffer, is there anyone else who
Somebody else wants to do it.
would like to participate?
Rick probably knows more about construction.
Probably. Charlotte or Rick. either
One
one.
of the two.
So Rick, you going to do it?
You want to do it?
I can do it. Yeah, I can do it.
Okay.
Okay, so like I said, we tentatively plan the interviews for March 16th through 18th. Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's the first thing. I'd like to give you a date. I'm not sure if you have, I don't believe you have this date. It's April 13th. It's a Monday, and that's our second annual Night of the Arts here at the board office. So Ms. Hodges and Ms. Blankenship have been working on that. We had a great turnout last year. I had to participate virtually. I had the flu, but it looked good, and we've had some really good feedback. So we're going to continue that this year.
It's up here.
It will be here 5:30. Okay, the next thing I'd like to provide, Ms. Daniel, we have sent out cards. As you can see, this is the first semester. Well, these are the GPA totals, I'm sorry. So second 9 weeks, well, let me start with this semester. For this semester, we had 2,374 students earn a 4.0 or greater. In addition to those 2,374, we had an additional 415 who earned a 4.0 or greater second 9 weeks only. And then I have attendance numbers. If you look at this, you'll see we had 613 students with perfect attendance for the year. And then an additional 778 students that received perfect attendance second 9 weeks only. So those are some great numbers, and appreciate what the work that our schools are doing, that Miss Lacey is doing.
Here.
There she is. I'm sorry.
She's hiding.
That Miss Lacey and her staff is doing or are doing as well. So those are our current numbers.
I think the competition that the schools are doing on attendance
Yeah.
has made a difference, because they're all into, my room's gonna win.
I will say our schools are really working hard on many things. As you saw, I believe it was our last meeting here, Miss Akert and Miss Lewis did a presentation on PBIS. And we're doing a great deal of work every month on behaviors and PBIS with our principals. Ms. Hamrick mentioned Stratton Store. So last Wednesday, I believe it was, they had students were able to come into the PBIS store at Stratton. And I really want to thank Miss Peters, Wendy Peters, and Jeffrey Kincaid. He's a teacher at Stratton. They've really taken that and really done some great work with PBIS. Obviously, with the store, it's taking all the staff and administration. But I see Miss Lester back there. It was a fun day. I think I spent about an hour with the students in the PBIS store, and they were having a wonderful time. Yeah. Miss Blossom. Yes, so Miss Peters was Miss Blossom last week, and it was a great time. So I wanted to mention them, and then the last thing I believe I have is the calendar waiver. Last week I did a video with the help of Audrey Williams about weather and the potential for a waiver. That waiver was released yesterday. The application was released yesterday by the State Department of Education. I completed it yesterday morning. I've submitted it, and I believe the application timeframe is yesterday through next Friday. And then once all waivers are submitted, we'll learn from the State Department if we have any days waived. Those would only be instructional days. It was very clear in the waiver that staff will be expected to fulfill their contractual responsibilities. So whether they're 200-day staff or 230, I think I told you at the last board meeting that the high school principals are working on snow days at this point. So that's what I have. As soon as I hear back about the calendar waiver, I'll let the board and the public know through video.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rachel, put it on Facebook.
I can put an announcement on Facebook, but I think the video goes on YouTube. I think that's where it's loaded.
But we do our Raleigh County thing on Facebook, don't we? Yeah. And,
You can see the videos on Facebook,
Right.
actually. Yes, they're through YouTube, but they're posted on Facebook. So yes, it'll be up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, attendance report, Miss Lacey.
Good evening, President Ford, Superintendent Starcher, and board members. I would like to present to you the attendance data for the 6th month. For the 6th month, our attendance rate was 93.646. Our enrollment was 9,415. For the month, we had 2 high school exits. We had 24 new homeschool notice of intent submitted for a total of 860. 3 new homebound for a total of 26. 5 new alternative for a total of 66 for the year. And 5 new notice of intent from Hope Scholarship for a total of 906. I also just want to say we're having another attendance challenge for the month of March. We have provided that information to all of the principals at the last meeting. So families should be getting that information to compete in that competition. Any questions?
Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Looking at the enrollment report, the number of virtual students actually went down.
It was the transition from the semester where some students were required to return back to in-seat.
Okay, so it did drop. My other question would be, and you said the enrollment was, well, 9,415. But that includes those 293 virtual students, right?
Yes,
So the bodies in our school was right around 9,100. Yeah,
it does not include pre-K.
that is a huge drop. So we're knocking on the door of actual bodies in school, 9,000 students in Raleigh County from
In the
12,
building,
13,000.
14.
in the buildings,
That's what I'm talking
yes,
about, in
yes.
I think that's scary.
Is that K-12? That doesn't include pre-K?
Does not include pre-K.
So there's a few more if you put pre-K.
Correct.
But you know, like he was talking, it's going down every single county, except maybe Berkeley and.
I understand that, but doesn't makes it any easier or any better either.
Well, you know, when you consider, when I first came on board, it's probably close to 14,000
Yep.
kids. I mean, we're knocking right at it. 14,000. You were superintendent, we're 14,000 kids. So it's a lot. The other thing is, I was looking there, in 24-25, our homeschool went to 1,190 by the end of the year. Right now, we're at 860. You project we'll probably get there again,
It's possible.
possible to.
We get, every day, we get one that comes and one that goes back to school. So it's
Right.
give or take.
Because if you do just the numbers there, homeschooled, homebound, alternative, Hope Scholars, that's almost 2,000 kids right there. That's just another thing that we used to have to deal with, that we're doing.
Correct.
To do. But it is a good thing on your high school exits. You didn't have very many of those. That's a good thing.
Right.
And it is. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have no unfinished business. Policies and procedures. The following are to be placed on 30-day comment. Oh, I'm sorry, they have been completed a 30-day comment. Approve, repeal, and replace policy B.3.3, purchase card. Say something about that.
Yes, President Ford, both policies before you tonight were repeal and replace. If you recall, when they were placed on comment, these were our 2 policies that we could not convert to make them digitally accessible. So they were recommended for repeal and replace. We received no comments, so I would recommend they be approved as presented, both policies.
So you heard a recommendation, have a motion.
I move we approve policy B.3.3, purchase card, policy and procedures, repeal and replace it with that policy.
Here's a second.
Go to-
All those in favor say aye. Motion carries.
Then I also move that we approve policy B.4.10, slip, trip, and fall prevention. Approve the new policy and replace the old one. Repeal the old policy and replace it with the new one. I'm sorry.
There you go, you got it.
I got it right that time.
All those in favor say aye. We have consent items A, B, and C. Can we vote on those together, or do you want to pull them out individually?
I move we approve the consent items that were submitted to us.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, those are all basic standard things. New business. Consider approval of the MOU with West Virginia Military Authority for establishment of West Virginia National Guard Future Leaders Program.
Good afternoon, board members, Superintendent Starcher, President Ford. Good to be here this evening. You'll see me 3 times. All of those will be happy, easy times. No money involved. Just be good stuff. So Miss Bailey at Liberty High School has long wanted the JR2TC program at Liberty. We did some investigation. None of the branches were expanding their units, so we were unable to do that. We did work with her school and Mr. Stafford and Woodrow and some other schools and make an opportunity for those students to transport to Woodrow and participate in ROTC if that's their desire. So we have a working plan for that if that's the desire. Miss Bailey also has a second ag program in her school that we had hoped to develop towards the mechanical lines instead of the plant lines. But those teachers are very hard to find, very hard. In fact, it's proven impossible for 2 years now to find a teacher for that program. So she has an opening. We'd like to sort of fulfill her wishes with a military type program for our students with this new program called Future Leaders Program. It was developed by the West Virginia National Guard at the behest of the governor at the time, who said he needed something in our state to help our students with leadership and these other things, and I'll talk about that a little bit. And so the National Guard developed a program. It has 4 individual courses. It could last, each of those courses is equal to one course, either a semester or a year. And they are not focused all on military. It's very little military. In fact, this is what they say it is. It's to provide leadership, military-based curriculum, mentorship, and guidance to high school students that aid in character and leadership development. The intent of the program is to help students succeed in high school and to provide them with the tools and skills to be successful in life. And it's several spots across the state have offered this program. It's a unique program, and what we're asking tonight is to approve an MOU with the West Virginia Military Authority, and they will provide a teacher. It's an interesting concept, employed by the National Guard but hired by the county, and they will be just like a teacher in our school that does everything that any other teacher has, but they'll teach these unique classes. They'll have a military background. They don't have to be retirees like ROTC. They just have to have a 4-year military career and honorable discharge, and they can teach these programs to our students. Miss Bailey was very excited about this program. She is very much looking forward to it. She thinks it'll be great for her students, and this will touch every student. It'll be for those students that struggle in school, those students that are on a lower level, and those high flyers as well. This will have things for all of them, because their mission is to help students in school and after school to reach their goals in life. And so we'd like you to approve that MOU today. I believe you have a copy in front of you, and if you have any thoughts or questions, I'll be glad to address those.
Any questions?
Have one. So the salary for this person is through vocational funds
The salary for this position
or
is
through the National Guard?
the National Guard employs them and provides all the benefits, but they ask the county to pay a yearly stipend that covers the salary, the benefits, and it'll also cover all the uniforms and recruitments that the military, that they'll need. They'll march, they'll do drills, they'll compete against other schools as well. And so roughly, it's going to be, they have a position down there. It's going to be roughly that same position will cover the cost of this. I think that's fair to say.
Any other questions?
So that position is a long-term sub now, and it'll just convert to cover this Future Leaders Program. And I want you to remember that FLP, Future Leaders Program, because I'm confident you'll hear a lot about it, a lot of good things about it.
Okay. Any other questions? Do we have a motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Pack. Consider approval of the MOU for FMRS Health Systems, Raleigh County Schools.
President Ford, Superintendent Starcher, board members, before you tonight, this came about based upon my conversation, Miss Angie Foster and our new school health director, Courtney Wilson, meeting with Access Health, New River Health, and FMRS to explore wraparound services moving forward now or for the next school year. And in our conversation with FMRS, they stated that they are providing a lot of stuff through their crisis team now in this specific school year that we're in. With that said, when we started digging, we didn't see an MOU with them. There has been an MOU with them in the past, but it's been a while since we've had an MOU reflecting the crisis team and the services that FMRS is providing for us. So what's before you tonight is that MOU that would run through the end of this school year, June 30th of 2026, to get us through the school year. Then, of course, we would explore, the next school year and also with that wraparound services.
Good things about their prices.
And I guess it's
Yes.
my night for questions. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
that's all right.
Does this get at any of the concerns that were expressed to us during the LSIC
Yes,
meetings
yes.
about some of the schools needing
Yeah.
this support for their students?
So that's a
this
great-
will address some of those?
Yes, ma'am. So that's a great question. That's the reason Ms. Foster, myself, and Ms. Wilson went out, and we started with New River Health, Access Health, and FMRS because we knew we had agreements or past working relationships with those folks. And we met with all three, and I think we're in a place that we could get more intense with it, if you will, for the 26-27 school year through one or a combination of three. But yes, FMRS feels confident in what they've said to us, that they can provide those services countywide based upon their team or stuff that they would, quote unquote, subcontract out.
That's great because I'm sure you recall several of our
Yes.
schools mentioned that was a real need for their
ma'am.
students to have this support service. And I also saw in the memorandum that there's money for the T4 program for those services there too, which I think is really good.
Yes, and we've been doing that the last couple of years. We just didn't have it in writing, and that's I'll take the responsibility for that. But this reflects that. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? Okay, do we have a motion to approve the MOU with FMRS?
We approved the MOU with FMRS.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Consider approval of the articulation agreement with Concord and Academy in Careers and Technology for school year 26-27. Mr. Pack,
All right.
nice to
Greetings
see you.
again. So over the years as Director of Career Tech Education, I've approached Concord University a couple of times about articulation, dual credit or something along those lines because they have a lot of programs that are close to ours. But this fall, they contacted me out of the blue, and President Megan and several of her staff came to ACT, and we met, and they had a proposal for articulation. And so we met and we agreed on some things, but I asked them to also go back and consider our business programs in our high schools and our accounting programs in the high schools. And they did, and they've come back with a very, very generous articulation agreement that will really help Raleigh County students as they enter into Concord College or Concord University. And so just for an example, our coding students would receive 6 hours in their computer science program. Our ProStart students would receive 6 hours in their hospitality program. Our therapeutic services would receive 9 hours in their health studies. EMT students would get 4 hours. Law and public safety, they have a criminal program down there, criminal justice program. Our students would receive up to or at least 10 hours for completing our program. Medical assisting, 10 hours. And then when we look at our business students, any of our students who complete a business enterprise program will receive 12 hours of articulation with Concord, and our accounting students in our high schools. And so all they have to do is complete our program successfully, earn our certificate, go to Concord University, enroll and show them that, and they'll award them these hours at no cost. And so we're asking you to approve that agreement this evening as well. Any questions or thoughts?
Yeah, thank you for doing all that. Do I have a motion to
I
approve
move
the?
that we enter the MOU with Concord University and Academy and Careers for articulation.
Motion's moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Consider approval of the Level Up West Virginia agreement with Glenville State. Anybody speaking to that?
I can. Board members, as you will recall from previous years, we've had level up agreements with other institutions such as New River Health. And before you tonight, I said New River Health, New River Community Technical College, I'm sorry. So tonight, before you, Independence High School has worked closely with Glenville State University to put together a level up agreement for the programs Grow Your Own Teaching, Social Services, Natural Resource Management, Criminal Justice, Health Sciences, and Business Management. So before you, you will see the essentially a chart that for each of those programs, it has our high school credit, our high school courses on the left, and then the courses, the corresponding courses on the right that our students could complete and receive dual credit courses for within that program. So I think this is a great opportunity, and I appreciate the work Independence High School did. Ms. Hodges knows sometimes this agreement doesn't come in looking as good, or it's not as well put together. But Glenville State, I want to acknowledge them and Independence High School for the work they did. My recommendation is the board approve this so we can move forward with this level up agreement.
Okay, I've heard the recommendation. Sounds like a winner to me. Do I have a motion? All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Consider approval of the Liberty University Student Teaching Agreement with Raleigh County Schools.
Good evening, everyone. This agreement is just to put in place the agreement with Liberty University that we've had in previous years, and we have with many other colleges around the state, to allow us to organize and work with student teachers, place them in our classrooms. So this is, it's a mirror image agreement of ones that we've had in the past.
They have any teachers? Are they working on it?
They are working on it. We do have one potential, which is what prompted this agreement to come before you tonight. But yeah, it's still a slow turnaround.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I move we approve the agreement with Liberty University for student teaching, Raleigh County Schools.
Motion's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Consider the approval of the Liberty University Practicum Articulation Agreement with Raleigh County Schools. You
Hello
talk about
again.
that too?
So this is just as the last agreement with student teaching, this is that practicum placement. When they come in for a shorter term placement, this is just to get all of our agreements documented and in place. We do have one potential student looking for a practicum placement with Raleigh County Schools right now from Liberty University. So it's imperative to get this in front of you all.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Do you have a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Approve out-of-state travel to the Council of Occupational Education. Mr. Pack again.
Been very sternly reminded in the past. We travel out of state twice in a fiscal year to make sure it's board approved. I don't want Mr. Click and Mr. Butcher reminding me again this year. So I am seeking board approval for an out-of-state trip. We have accreditation, just like many colleges do. And that our accreditation can run from 1 to 6 years, and we've always been able to earn a 6-year accreditation. So we are up for accreditation again. We'll receive the visit 2027. So there's a mandatory trip to Salt Lake City, Utah for a conference by the Council on Occupational Education that we'll attend and take part in the required cohort workshops, if you guys approve it. Expenses all paid by the adult education finances from the school, not asking the county to pay anything. Well, then you may have to get some more. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Have a motion?
I move we approve the out-of-state travel to the Council of Occupational Education for the individuals listed in the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Okay, consideration of approval of the superintendent's recommendation for personnel, 25-26 year. And Teresa, don't leave. I want to ask you a question before you leave.
The principal's office.
As you will see, if you flip all the way to the back page, page number 6 under transportation, we had an accept, then a decline, and another accept, and we did not catch that in order to remove one off of the recos before they were pushed out. So we are removing Paul Thornquist from transferring from bus 246 to bus 216.
Your recommendation?
My recommendation is as presented with the correction noted by Ms. Smonko.
Okay, y'all heard the recommendation. Do you have a motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, we do thank you for coming. That's all we have on our agenda. This meeting is adjourned.